It's time for a mock draft. 12 teams, 9 categories. I'm picking at 7. I'm starting with Steph Curry. Let's see how it works out, Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball podcast brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com. You can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. Today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jase case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50+ infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com. I said already thank you, so we don't need to do that anymore. I went out of order. We are doing a mock draft here today. I am picking at number 7. Some people had some reactions to the Luka Doncic at 6. There's no way you take Luka at 6. Yes, I know that, and you heard me grapple with it at the start of that show. Just again to recap, in case you clicked on that and clicked off in disgust because Luka would never fall to 6. Maybe he should fall to 6. Have you ever thought of that? He might not fall to 6, but be happy if he does. Because I'm not be happy if he does. I think it's probably the right move with that 2-game week. And I'm going to assess what I do with LaMelo Ball later on, but that is why I did it. Again, is it realistic in a lot of drafts where people just will ignore that fact? Don't know. Most people will take him in the top 3, and they will probably be making a mistake. There's no justification for me for Luka being in the top 4. But that's not what we're talking about. We're here to do pick 7. It's a Steph Curry mock draft. I think that Steph might be top 3 on a per-game basis, I think. But I have more significant doubts about his ability to play enough games for me to draft him in that area. We're going to do that in a second. Today's episode is brought to you by Jase Case. Jase Case, it's great. I don't want you to use it. I want you to have it, but I don't want you to use it. What is Jase Case? It is a potentially life-saving kit of 5 antibiotics that you have at home in case disaster strikes. We all want to be able to protect ourselves and help ourselves and our families when something happens. We want to be in a situation, we never want to be in a situation where we need this. But when we do need it, it's always good to have it there. It is so easy to get a Jase Case. You fill out a form online, you talk with their board-certified physicians. The pharmacies deal with the distribution and products that come to you, and you got doctors on call that you can speak to when you need them, because you never know what's going to happen. Something might limit your ability to get healthcare, whether that is a flood, an earthquake, a fire, a landslide, a tornado, a cyclone, a hurricane, a tsunami, a pandemic. So many things can go wrong. And sometimes you need something immediately and you can't get the help you need. That's where Jase Case comes in. You've got it at home and you can help yourself and your family in that emergency, and we all hope you never need to use it. And now you can get $20 off these life-saving antibiotics today from Jase Medical by using the code LOCKEDON at checkout on jasemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com. We might as well get this mock draft cracking, I reckon. See how we go. All right, let's bring in this mock draft. Get in there. I'm picking at 7, as I said. We are like 30 seconds away from this starting, I would say. And we'll see how this plays out. We'll start with Steph. What's your thoughts on Steph this season? Remember, Jordan Poole is gone, replaced by Chris Paul. And you might think Chris Paul is a better player. Absolutely, you should, right? But very big difference between the usage of those players. Paul's a 30% usage. Poole is a 30% usage player. Paul is like a 17% usage player. So Wiggins, Steph, Clay are going to have to do more usage stuff. It also will fall a little bit to guys like Moses Moody, maybe John Kuminga, but they're not going to be playing 30 minutes a night. So I think there's going to be some interesting stuff in terms of maybe a decrease in Steph's assists, but you're going to have way more opportunities for him to score, I would think, without Jordan Poole out there. Jokic goes at 1. I doubt we'll get any shake-up here in the top 6. I'd love to know how these... Oh, there we go. I was going to say what they do with Doncic. That is it's honestly crazy to me to pick Doncic at 2. I'm not a big, you've got to really adjust everything for playoff schedule, but you do have to pay attention to a 2-game week. And to take him at 2 is nonsense. I just can't get behind it. It's so hard to do, I think. Doncic, Embiid, Halliburton, Shea, standard top 5. Anushvan. I apologize for not pronouncing that correctly, but he was joking in the chat that he wanted to take Steph. Please don't do it. And now he's disappeared out of the draft. Did get upset that I told him not to draft him. Here he is. Durant. All right. Wow. Durant at 6. Okay. Let's get to it. Having a little gift fall there. Maybe a gift. Maybe Tatum's not a top 8 player. Someone brought up a point the other day that honestly hasn't been discussed, and I'm partly to blame for this. What if Tatum just drops off because Porzingis and Holiday are there? And we know he's never been a top 3 or top 5 per game player ever before. He hasn't. So, yeah, there is a risk. Okay. I said that's weird for take Durant there, but maybe it is. Maybe we shouldn't be looking at Tatum in that area. I will still probably take him around that 5 as I did the other day. It is easy enough to build around him, but it's honestly not a crazy thought. Giannis goes at 8, Tatum at 9. Very interesting. Again, I'm not going to hate on it. The more you think about some of these things that happen, I'd say 95% of picks that get made, you can make arguments as to why they happen. The ones that you can't, they're the ones that I'm going to call out and be like, oh, that's a little bit suspicious. That's a little bit weird. LaMelo goes to 11. Good. Davis at 10, Lillard 12, Trey 13. Again, I don't really think that people are paying attention huge amounts to a 2-game week. LaMelo at 11 is a steal. Yeah, maybe, but Irving goes next at 14. Booker 15. All right, time for me to get back onto my concentration zone. Booker at 15. Am I going to do I got Don Mitchell last time on the way back around at whatever that pick is, 2-7. I am at 2-6. Is Donnie my guy here? Is Sabonis my guy? Love him for a punt blocks build, which is what you can do with Steph. You can also punt assists with Steph. Well, I can't do Don some bonus there because he just went at 17. Edwards went at 16. So what am I going to do? Do I just go... Yeah, I think I do. Let's just take Donnie Mitch there, I think. The other options, like it's Kawhi. I don't want to trust him and Steph together. Let's do Donnie Mitch again. So even though both of those guys are guards, they're not huge assist players. We can still punt assists, and I really need to then, that would mean get some blocks going in the next 2 rounds. But the Steph and Don pairing obviously helps scoring. Threes, gives me good free throw percentage. Assists are mid. They're not great, they're mid. And again, it would seem silly to take 2 guards, first 2 picks, and then go, well, maybe I'll punt assists. But when Halliburton's gone, and Doncic is gone, and Jokic is gone, and Harden just went then, and Giannis is a big assist guy, and Ball and Trey and these guys, I'm not competing with them in assists at this point. I'm sort of hovering around the middle. And maybe, Jaren goes. And maybe that makes it a little bit harder for me to be competitive there. I've got some interesting small guy stats with Steph and Don without getting strong assists. And maybe I need to get a big in the next round. Maybe that's like Miles Turner. Maybe, Cade Cunningham goes at... I think that's too early for Cade. Jim Butler goes at 23. We're into the Kawhi Paul George danger zone here. Bridges 24. Someone left a comment on my sleeper video yesterday, and I'm going to say it again because obviously it doesn't always get through to everybody. I was talking about the value of Asar Thompson with an ADP of 133, and he goes, Josh, you should address that people see you talk about Asar as a sleeper, so they start thinking that wherever you take him is a steal, and they start going to like pick 90 and pick 80, and I'll say this again and again and again. I really like Cade Cunningham this season. You take him at 22, there's no value in that whatsoever. You don't have to have these players. If they are steals or sleepers, you do not need to have them. That is not how fantasy works in the slightest. Don't take them. Take them at value. That is all. I preach this constantly. Somehow the message doesn't always get through, and that's okay. But you don't have to have these players. You can make things work with basically anybody as long as you're smart about it. Marketing goes at 26. Jordan Poole at 27. Honestly, I've got Jordan Poole around that area. Would I take him there? A bit debatable. It's debatable. Kawhi goes, so that decision's taken out of my hands at 28. I think Kawhi might be actually really strong this season, but I don't know. Zebra Fish requested to pick at number 5. So he's got his little Shea and Harden combo. Looks like, I think for the Clippers, by the way, guys, Marcus Morris might be out of the rotation. Terrence Mann is going to start. That gives more minutes to Bones Highland. And I think Nick Batum's not going to play tons. So just watch that. Doesn't mean Terrence Mann's a must-draft player or anything. Fred VanVleet at 29 is good value. If you're on ESPN, his ADP is at 70. So yeah, good value that. All right, we're getting close to my pick. What's the big that I look? Des Bane's available. Porzingis is available. Miles Turner's available. Bam just went. What do I do here? Claxton? Maybe I do take Miles Turner. Let's take Miles Turner. All right, let's take Miles Turner. Let's try and do this punt assists with these two guards. All right, let's start with that. Let's see how we go. That helps my blocks, obviously. I do need to get rebounds, so you know my target is going to be someone like an Ayton even, or we look at Porzingis. Let's throw him into the queue. I'm not taking Miles Turner in round 2 of drafts. I know some people will look at some of his rankings and suggest that. I won't do it. In a lot of cases, I wouldn't do it here, but I did it. Wembanyama goes at 32, and also, again, one key point with drafts, the range of players is actually much wider than you think. You might look at a rank or an ADP. It might be fine to take that guy 1.5 rounds early, 1.5 rounds late, especially when you get further down the draft board. Good value there on Bane, I think, from you dominating at 33. Terrible name. Porzingis goes at 34. Well, I guess that dream of him coming back around is not there. Zach LaVine's going to be in the mix for me. Nick Claxton is also an option for me. So is DeAndre Ayton. But Ayton's such a strong rebounder. Or Evan Mobley. Will he last? I don't think so. Darius Garland. He sneaks into round 2 sometimes. So this guy, Assad dude, getting him there is great. 35 for Garland, 36 for DeJounte, and that is the end of round 3. Mobley, there he goes. Goes at 37. He was going to be an option for me. I'm going to end up with... I hate that I end up with players that I just don't like as players, but Ayton's going to be one of those guys. Is Vooch reasonable for me? I'm not... Hey, Vooch usage yesterday, 14%. Does it mean anything? No, but also... we'll see. Mobley at 37. Assad, dude, what are you doing? I'm going to throw Vooch into the queue. Oh, that's Brunson. That's fine. Darren Fox at 38. He was pretty bad yesterday, but it's preseason. Someone was also asking, hey, man, why don't you just live react to preseason games? Most of it doesn't matter. I will mention little things we notice from preseason as we go along, but I'm not doing full preseason recaps every day that something happens. Because most of it doesn't matter, and it leads to a lot of overreactions. Jalen, like, if I talk on a daily basis in the regular season about, hey, maybe don't overreact to this one single thing that happens, it's doubly so more important for the preseason. Jaylen Brown goes 39, Ayton goes at 40. Well, I guess that idea is done. So this does bring me to the Nikola Vucevic concern, issue, discussion. Josh, you hate Vooch. I don't. I just don't want to take him in the 30s, in the mid-30s, in the early 30s. I would consider it here, and I am considering it here, just to give myself a bolster in rebounds, because Ayton went, and I would have liked to have taken him there. Who else could I take instead? I could take, or maybe I'll just throw this Vooch stuff out the window and just take Claxo. But that hurts my points too much. I'm going to take Vooch. All right. I wonder, LeBron went there at 41. That's where he seems to be going at the moment. Let's see who calls out me taking Vooch at 41 in the chat. A lot of this, like I've got Vooch actually more as a guy in the 50s, right? And I took him in the 40s because took him at 42 there. Jamal Murray goes 43 because it's about trying to balance what I'm looking for, which players at what point, and what I'm looking for, and how my team is structured, what is coming after that in terms of other players, and where I can get those numbers. That's what's important. What I find interesting yesterday is I did that mock draft right. I didn't really love how it went. I didn't love how my team looked. It actually projected the worst out of everyone I did, and it was the one that got the most comments. Said, man, this is the best mock draft you've done. again, just showing that people do have very differing ideas. And when you go against consensus or rankings, which I tend to do a bit, people don't buy that. They just buy what they believe has been happening in the past or will always happen now. Levine goes at 46. That's great. Kessler at 47. All about Kessler in round 4. All about him in this area. Not about him in round 2 or early round 3. Could old mate Claxo last for me? Sure. Will I likely do it? I don't think so. Now, we are getting to Scott Barnes. I really don't like that. Barnes was pretty good yesterday, but he also didn't start at point guard. Dennis Schroeder did, and I think that's going to be how they run things. The guy that I'm looking at, I'm thinking of Zion Williamson because I have a strong free throw percentage. I would love to get, there goes Claxo. I'd love to get a scoring and field goal percentage boost. Şengün at 51. Very interesting. Claxton 50. Good from you, Professor Lamar. Beal I like at 49. Siakam, that is really good. Again, I'm not big on Siakam in the 20s or 30. At this spot, lovely. Like, we get behind it. Maxey and Zion are probably my 2 guys that I'm considering here. DeRozan even. Imagine I end up with Vooch and DeRozan after being called a DeRozan and Vooch and Bulls hater. Julius Randle at 53. All right, we are going to do Zion if it comes to that. Please, Anush. I'm just going to call you Anush. Please leave him for me. And let's go Zion. My team current free throws are projected 85. So I got a buffer there. Now Zion's going to hurt that. I'll probably bring it to 81 would be my guess. If I'm talking, you absolute asshole. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. Well, I guess that's done. Do we have enough of a buffer in 3s to take DeRozan? We do. So let's do it. I want to get my scoring up, so I'm taking DeRozan. There you go. It's the team of guys that Josh hates. I would have loved Zion there. Now, that really gives me a gigantic free throw buffer. Huge. Massive that I can. It sits at like 80, over 85 now. Although, once your team is already at like 85 and you add an 85% shooter, it doesn't change that much. It just gives you more buffer base that you can add a shitter one on later and it doesn't impact you as negatively. Tyrese Maxey, 56. He looked great yesterday, but of course Embiid and Harden were out. Melton was out as well. How about my mate, the package, Jaden Springer? He looked really good. I don't know how he's going to play enough, but he looked good. This is a much better spot, I believe, than for Anunoby. I've seen him go in the 40s. I like Anunoby there. Just taking that, Paolo Banchero goes, this is happening a lot at 58. I expect big steps forward for Paolo. You're just eliminating so much, though, taking him there. That is just, what if it doesn't happen? What if he is RJ Barrett? A no defensive stat, poor field goal, poor free throw player. That's a waste there. I love Paolo, and I don't think he's going to be that. Oh, Josh Giddey goes, surely we go Jalen Williams next. We've got to keep it running. Ingram is sliding a lot. As I just give you... Ooh, Jarrett Allen's still there. Who's the most boring player in fantasy, do you think? I know it's Tobias Harris, but who's the new Tobias Harris? I think it might be Franz Wagner. I like Franz Wagner. He might be the most boring guy. I look at him and go, is there any upside here? To be fair, in a dynasty league, I think he's a top 25-ish guy. Oh, we did it. Giddey and Jalen Williams together. Broncos country, let's ride. Because now that I can't do the sound drops until we work out what's going on, I'm just going to manually do them. Wagner goes at 61 along with Jalen Williams. A lot of youth there. Look at that. Mobley, Williams, Wagner. I haven't been looking at average age of teams all that often. Maybe I should do it. Wow, my team is old as 31 average age. Let's bring some youth in, I reckon. Anthony Simons, 63. Gobert, 62. We're getting back to me. All right, we need to start hitting some upside picks now. Brandon Ingram's still available, is he? Wow, he is. So that's, we talk upside swings, but if Brandon Ingram is there at 66, we have to do, he's not, he's gone now. So shut up, Josh. 64 for Brandon Ingram. So what do I do here? I want to get more boards. I want to get another big. I want to get some more blocks. I want to strengthen my field goals. Is that Jakob Poeltl's music. Tyler Hero goes at 65. Or is that Jarrett Allen's music? I think we've let Allen fall too far. Let's get it on Gilly. All right, let's take Jarrett Allen. So I've got 3 centers, 2 good shot blockers. Allen's an okay shot blocker, I guess. Drew Holiday goes next. This is about right for Drew. There's going to be some people who look the other way on Drew. And by look the other way, they're going to be like, well, I don't know why you're overlooking him. He's going to be the same player. He's going to have all these guys, and he's just going to get double-digit assists. It's not usually how fantasy works, though. You do still need to have the ball in your hands, and he's just not going to have that many usage opportunities. And I'm not ruling this out. He came off the bench yesterday for Boston. Could he come off the bench? I really doubt it. I think it's like 0.01% chance. But I'm not going to, like, it is 0% chance that Jason Tatum comes off the bench. It's 0% chance that Jaylen Brown comes off the bench. I think that there is just that small, absolute bee's dick of a chance that Drew comes off the bench. Bee's dick. Drew Holiday goes. Brook Lopez goes at 68. I just say these things just so they're in the back of your mind, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It doesn't mean to avoid at all costs or nothing like that. Just something to keep in your back of your mind. Jeremy Grant goes at 69. Okay. I can do that. I can get behind that. I do need some steals here. I need some steals. I need some points. Who is going to bring those to me? The Thick Hogsman? Two Rogier goes at 71. Well, I've got a little bit of time. I don't want to get overly excited, but I'm into that situation where I'm going to be needing forwards. DeMar, you're going to sit in a forward slot because I don't have... Oh, DeMar considers a power forward, all right? Anyone else considers a power forward? No, he considers a power forward. That's good. Shouldn't be listed as a shooting guard, actually, DeMar, because he's not. The other guy I might look at who will actually work nicely for me is Cam Johnson. Poeltl at 72 is a good pick. I like Cam Johnson in this zone. He might be a 20-point scorer, 6 rebounds, 1.2 steals. Good percentages, good free throws. I do like that. At the moment, current standings have Brian on top and me second, dominating 3. Grain of salt, all of that. Grain of salt. Ben Simmons goes at 73. Good combo with Poeltl. You've got some bad free throw guys. They're interesting that you started off with Jokic and Bridges and bring in the bad free throw guys now, but that's what we do. We pivot. It's the way you got to think about a lot of this. And your free throws were sitting at like 82 before that pick, so it's going to cop it down, but not terrible. Kuzma, 74. Okay. 3 picks for me. I need scoring. I need scoring pretty desperately if I want to compete there. That is why Cam Johnson is going to be my target. Someone wrote Ben Simmons. I didn't even click of how early that actually is for Simmons. That is very early. You don't have to go that early. Devin Vassell goes after Miles Bridges. That is also early. Wow. Okay, Devin Vassell, I like that. That's could be a steal. Bridges is early, but yeah, Simmons at 73. I know that you're on the turn and you have to wait back around to like 95 for your next pick. It's putting a lot of faith in him. Takes a lot of the value out of it, unfortunately. I didn't even click that. Middleton 77 is a really, really solid option. Now, Anush, last time you killed me with the Zion pick, can you just leave Cam Johnson here for me? I would like to have Cameron Johnson on my team, and I would like for you to leave him for me. Thank you very much. He took Klay Thompson. How did Klay look yesterday? I'd say not very good, but I'm not writing him off completely. 20 points and 4 threes is a valuable commodity. I just don't think I would take Klay necessarily there. Probably next round more for Klay. I like getting Cam there at 79. It's almost pick 80. I think that's pretty strong. No one's gone into the let's take CJ McCollum or Buddy Hield in round 7 mode, which usually happens in some of these drafts. And I'm surprised that Scoot hasn't gone. I think he'll go soon. I think he will go soon. I still need some steals. Ooh, Demetrius Morant goes at 80. That was an auto pick. I don't know what happened to this bloke. Yeah, that's not good at that area. Who do I want? Okay, let's see. Dominating, you really did well here by getting good value on Anunoby, by getting Ayton, by getting Ingram, and now he goes with a Kongwu. Shout out to you for using the draft tracker. Draymond Green goes next at 82. Got to be real sure of what you're doing with Draymond because of the absolutely gigantic hit you take in points. Now, your team was relatively strong in points, Golden State Warriors for All-Stars 24. Weird team name. You were averaging 24 points, so you can afford to take that hit, but that puts you sort of middle of pack. And if you're sitting like top 2 in a category, I wouldn't want to bring myself back down to middle of the pack, I don't think. Marcus Smart goes at 83, and that's what Draymond does. So I'll have a look where he ends up when we do the next refresh. He was currently third with like a tiny gap between first and third in terms of points. Scoot goes now. So let's have a look where Golden State for All-Stars, where that Draymond thing dropped him down to in terms of just the points category. Wow. Wild. So he went up from competing for the most points to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams ahead of him. That's a big drop. So he's only better than, according to my projections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's the 7th best team. Yeah, okay, that's a big drop. And that's what that's part of my issue with taking Walker Kessler too early, is that it's just so hard to get points back. Duran goes, 86. Fultz 87, Gaff at 88. I would have liked to get Gaff. I want more scoring and rebounds. Is there anybody who can deliver that to me at this area? Probably not, yeah? Because scoring is very... Oh, no. We're gonna... Capella goes, we're gonna thick Hogsman this. All right, Toby Harris, bang. Fills my forward hole, giggity. And not a bad scorer. And could be much better if Jim isn't there. So just adding some forwards in here. I need a guard still. And I've got a flex hole to fill. Okay. All right. But it doesn't... Michael Ponder Jr. goes at 91. Jalen Green, 92. You'll see Jalen Green, well, he was actually 180th last season. It's really not an accurate representation of what we need him to do. And in this area for Jalen, there is still actually upside for him. The way that he could jump 100 spots, honestly, by shooting 46 from the field. Can he do it? I don't know. But it's not impossible to get there. Chrissy Paul goes at 93. You're seeing that happen more and more. That's what people are saying. And I like it. Johnny Collins, I am somehow more out on Collins. I understand that I probably have the least grasp on what the hell is going on in Utah of any team because there's just so much uncertainty. But I'm not convinced they're just going to be like, all right, Johnny, we're back to 3 years ago. Let's get you more usage. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't know, but I don't think so. D'Angelo Russell goes at 95. Tyus Jones goes at 96. Cool, good for him. That's actually really good for... Actually, that's strong. His Yahoo ADP is like 60 or 64 or his rank or something. That's crazy high. This is really good for Tyus, and that helps you a lot there, BD, and I'm assuming you are going super strong into assists. Yes, you absolutely are. Good for you. Christian James at 97. That's absolutely perfect. Love it in round 9. Fantastic. Let's... what I really want to see is who takes the flyer leap in round 10 first. And is it Paul Reed? Is it Asar Thompson? Is it Kobe White? Who does that? Who takes that flyer? By the way, Keegan Murray, yeah, not good yesterday. You know I have concerns about his overall game and fantasy translation on this team. It did not look super strong yesterday. We have 11 points and nothing else. I'm not saying he's bad. Not saying he's not improving. It was not encouraging. I'll say that much. Andy Wiggins goes at 98. Cool stuff. Austin Reeves is available. What? No. Why is the Austin Reeves hype dropped off? What's going on there? Russ, that is in what? Westbrook at 98? Wow. Was not expecting that. Okay, so he went super early on Mark Williams and then early on Collins and Westbrook. Mitch Robinson goes. Robinson is a very, very specific player, obviously. We know what he's going to do. The upside is limited, but it helps if that's what you want. And he's really good to get late if you didn't get Nick Claxton or Walker Kessler early on. By the way, Kessler yesterday, 5 blocks. So did Jaren Jackson. Oh no, Austin Reeves. I'm getting sniped again here. And no, before anyone makes a comment, this isn't live, so people can't see my draft queue or hear what I'm saying. Wendell Carter goes at 102. All right, so what do we do now? Well, how do I get some scoring onto this bloody team? Oh, Wendell Carter would have been good. I would have liked him. This is Nurk territory. Let's go. Let's get the big fella in here. That's Nurk territory. Is Nurk a good scorer? He's okay, but he helps my rebounds, which I also needed. Spencer Dinwiddie might be a guy for me. Ben Mathurin is also someone that I'm always seeming to target. He looked pretty good yesterday, and he is going to start. We know that. By pretty good, I mean he looked better. Efficient, grabbed rebounds, did a few extra things. A couple of weeks ago, you could get Mathurin in the 130s, 140s everywhere. It's not really going to happen too much anymore. Dinwiddie at 104. I believe the Nets play today in preseason, so we'll get a little bit there. Trey Jones still around. He's a good pick for somebody who wants him. It's not me, but somebody who wants him. What happened to Golden State Warriors for All-Stars 24? They booted, did they? Alpha Mu. Rob Williams is someone you should start looking at here. That guy who picked Draymond, that Draymond team would benefit from Rob Williams. Because you already torpedoed your points. Zach Collins 105. I'm always loving when Zach Collins goes in the hundreds. Love it. Keegan Murray 106. Again, reservations, but it's good. I am going to make it my mission that I do not pick Sadiq Bey in this draft. Although I know it's going to come around. It's going to be there at 130. I'm going, man, Bey makes sense. The Shark, Bruce Brown, goes at 107. And then the last pick of round 9. Let's see. This is what we really want to know. Who is taking flyers in round 10? Because that is what is going to happen. Let's see who makes the move first. Well, it didn't even happen in round 10 because Fantrax did Shaden Sharp in round 9, which is crazy. That is... what are we seeing with Shaden? I know he had some good numbers, but I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. That is just too early for me. Wowee. I did not expect that. Does he back it up? Or no, he goes flyer again. Although, Asar Thompson's moving away from being a flyer because I am feeling convinced he is going to start. Is it over Jaden Ivey? Don't know. Is it over Bojan Bogdanovic? Don't know. Is it over Isaiah Stewart? I don't know. But he can start over one of those three players. Jordan Clarkson goes 110. Interestingly, he came off the bench yesterday, and they started Horton, Tucker, and Sexton, a very weird backcourt. But that's what they did. And Chris Dunn was the best of the backcourt players. There's still 5 blokes there. I don't know what to make of it. And, encouragingly, Keontae George got to the line 6 times in his 20 minutes. So, I still don't know what the hell they're going to do. It's going to be a frustrating situation all season. And I am out on Clarkson in round 10. For that very reason. That is awesome value to get Derek White at 112. He was someone I was considering when I took Nurkic in round 9. Mike Conley goes at 113. So, what do I do here? Valanciunas is there. He is an option. What? Do I do Sadiq Bey? No, absolutely I don't. Josh, be strong. Let's take Benedict Mathurin. All right. Let's take Benedict Mathurin. Helps my points, gets my threes a little bit cracking. Bit of young upside there. Yeah. Good free throw boost. What's my team's projected free throws? 82. Okay. On above average attempts. That's good. So always want to look at attempts. Average attempts are about 3.7 in a 12-team league, and I'm at 4.3 at the moment. That will drop with my last couple of picks, though, but I'm currently trending above. Emmanuel quickly goes at 115. I beg anybody to do the Knicks 240 game. Just do it. Try to get 240 minutes out of a nightly rotation on the Knicks, and then you'll go, oh yeah, I'm not sure how I do that with quickly. It's so hard, man. It is. And you'll be seeing DiVincenzo play 10 minutes. It's impossible. It's so hard. Gaz Trent off the bench yesterday. He goes at 117. He did score well, but coming off the bench is not something I want to invest in Gaz outside of picking in these last couple of rounds. Josh the Hitman Hart at 119. Paul Reed 118. So there we go. Another flyer in round 10. Should I stick to the brand and make Kobe White my pick in this round? I should, because he should go in this round. I don't know that he's going to be their starter. I thought he looked pretty good, though. Pat Williams was all right as well, which was encouraging. Jaden Ivey, I thought Jaden Ivey, it was discouraging that he played off the bench, but he played well off the bench. So we'll throw him into the queue as well. All right, round 11. We've got 4 picks left, everybody. Jaden McDaniels. Not the biggest McDaniels guy, but I don't mind it there. Ivy goes here. Some concerns, obviously, but we're taking flyers. We're churning through. We're seeing what happens. Oh, I knew it. No one was taking Kobe White until a few days ago, and now we have to go early on him. But you do not have to go round 9 or round 10 for Kobe White. Just let it slide. I love this from you, Brian, getting Rob Williams. That's a big Rock DJ move from you. Really strong. D'Anthony Melton. Yeah, okay, fine. Now, Anush. You're not going to take who I want because you took Steven Adams. So what do I do now? Is there a guy to give me points and steals at this stage in the draft? You know what the name that's coming up, and it's annoying me. You know what? I broke the rule. I got to take Sadiq Bey. Oh no. I can't stand it. I can't stand Sadiq Bey as a player. Bob Portis goes at 128. We're going to start hunting upside in the next couple of rounds. Colin Sexton's going to be one of those guys we look at. Maybe Dennis Schroeder is one of those guys. Is Dennis Schroeder an upside play? Not really, but he sort of is when you get him at 140, 150. What's my next pick? 138. Chris Dunn. I don't have any idea what to make of the Jazz. So we're going to make sure that all of these guys get drafted. Dunn, George, and Sexton. Less so with Abaji. Did Sexton just go? He did, 129. Dylan Brooks goes at 130. Why are we taking Dylan Brooks in round 11? And less so with Horton Tucker. Eason goes 131, losing some faith that he's going to play enough, unfortunately. Pat Williams still there as well. Trey Murphy, really good spot there at round 11 for him. Yes, you got to deal with injury. Oh well. We'll be okay. We'll be good. As the kids would say, we move. PJ. Is PJ going to start with Miles Bridges, do you think, all during the season? I think Brandon Miller is in real strife for having fantasy value. 133 for Ivica Zubats. Just too many dudes there. Too many dudes. Gordon Hayward, 135. There's one of the dudes. I don't think that I would have taken him in round 12, especially after I took Dylan Brooks, but that's okay. Budrick Hield goes at 136. This is a perfect spot for Bud. Not in the 70s. This is perfect. And he was at the top of my list, along with Herb Jones and Kevin Huerter, who I absolutely will not take in this area. Although, Rowan Barrett, ugh. Ooh, who is the upside dude that I take here? You know what? I don't know. Oh, no, I do know. It's Paul Washington Jr. That's not even upside. That's just value from at 138. Let's just take Paul there. And then we've got those two Jazz point guards to look at on the way back around. Sohan's going into my queue. Avdia is 2. Boyan is 2. Look, I got Boyan in round 14 yesterday. And again, is he exciting? No. I pick 170. Is it worth it? Yes. Bay is my Chris Duarte. Yeah, I know. It's the one that I go, well, I have to do it. The value looks good, but I have no confidence in him being good. And I definitely wouldn't reach anywhere to take Sadiq Bey. It's just that if he falls there, I'm sort of interested. Hey, how shit did Chris Duarte look yesterday, by the way? Also, another one. People ask me about Sasha Vezenkov. Man, can he get 25 minutes? I highly, highly doubt that. He wasn't even in their first 10 guys in the rotation. Now, I don't think that'll be the case. He will get in there ahead of them. But he's not going to have a runway to big minutes unless there is an injury, I believe. Pat Williams, 142 Pomelo. I love what you did there, taking Kobe White and Pat Williams. You and me, fellow Bulls fans, got to stick with our Bulls players. I was going to say something. No, I better not say that. Jarris Walker. Ooh, he was good yesterday. I didn't think there was a chance he was going to start opening night. I still don't think that's likely, but man, he dominated. And this is what the rounds are available here for. Boyan and Toppin. Okay. Fine. Yeah, that's fine. Is anyone going to take Herb Jones? Because I don't like Herb Jones in certain spots. But I sort of do here. Josh is going to pick Keldon Johnson. You know what? I actually am. I actually might. He's going to the queue. Thanks for that little note. No, because he's getting that little scoring bump. Oh, no. You didn't have to do that. 146 for Keldon. This is perfect for Keldon. I am going to, just to make sure that you see that I think he's viable, I'm going to take Chris Dunn with my next pick. They have this Sexton, Clarkson, Abaji, Dunn, Horton Tucker, and George, and they can't all play. But the best of them yesterday was Chris Dunn. Agree, Professor Lamar. Not cool to call out people left on the board. I agree with that. That is bad draft room etiquette. This is a mock, so it doesn't matter that much, but also don't do it. Brian. Rashawn Holmes, a month ago, I would have told you solid pick there. I don't know that he's in the rotation. I think it's going to be Lively Powell with Kleber. There we go. Absolutely, Zebra. That is what you should have done over Holmes. Derek Lively is the pick you should have made there. That is one that has to come off the board. Do I take Dunn or do I take the speaker, Keynote George? George has got way more upside, but I think if I'm just swinging for upside, I would take George, but I do want to just highlight I'm getting some vibes-ish on Dunn, so I am going to take him there. All right, just be aware this is what I'm doing. I just want to illustrate that I want to show there is some value in Chris Dunn, so I'm going to take him there. And it's for this video. It's for the people in the draft room. It's when I post the draft out on socials that I've got a little bit of interest in taking Dunn. 9 times out of 10, I would prioritize Keontae George over Chris Dunn here, but I just wanted to highlight that. Isaiah Stewart goes, we've got some, look, we're getting to that stage where we head around to round 14. Also, normalize 14 rounds in a draft. Please normalize it. Make your league 14 deep, minimum. Herter and Jones, I don't like getting them in round 11 or round 10. In round 14, I do. Sohan, also. Harrison Barnes and Al Horford. If you want to take them in round 14 because you've gone Flyers in the last 3 rounds, do it. That's actually, again, when you start to squeeze 30 spots of value out of a player, good for you. Kennard, after Isaiah Stewart 152, Joshie Richardson 153, Kennard 154, started. I think he will, opening night. John Kuminga, I think if Draymond is out, that's good. If Draymond is in, it's not. Bogdanovic, that's Bogdan, goes at 156. Value for him there. The speaker, Keontae George, goes 158. Prime Prestige Penis, Triple P legend, Grady Dick, goes at 159. I don't think he's going to play enough. Sohan goes at 160. So I currently have nobody in my queue. Who is the guy I'm going to have a crack at here? I think what we're going to do is we're going to take... Who are we going to take? Kevon Looney. Well, that's not who we're going to take. You know what? I'm just going to take a little bit of a sneaky, cheeky Malik Monk flyer here. Yep, let's try Malik Monk. The Kings had no injuries last season. If they have any injuries to a starter, he probably blows up there. And Norm Powell was another guy I was considering. Karis LeVert was also... They're the top 3 that are on my list. I've got Herter up there, Jones up there. I've got Jalen Johnson up there. I've actually got DeAndre Hunter up there, who doesn't get drafted really anywhere. And probably at pick 165, you might want to consider that. Same with Brandon Miller, even though I'm not big on him. I think you want to take him. Kevin Herter, again, I wouldn't take Herter in round 11, but I would take him here. Thibault, whatever. Not a big Thibault guy from a fantasy point of view, as I'm pretty sure you're aware. I don't know how much he's even going to play. But we'll see. He might start over Sharp. Brandon Miller, yep, makes perfect sense at 167. And the final pick in this draft is... Spread the screen. Really thinking hard about it here, Harb BD. The final pick was Kyle Anderson, who I've seen go in round 11, and I dislike, but going here, I do like. So that's how we roll. All right, so let's look at my team. Pick number 7, Steph, followed by Don Mitchell in round 2, Miles Turner round 3, the big fella Nik Vucevic in round 4, DeRozan in round 5, Jarrett Allen round 6, Cameron Johnson round 7, Toby Harris round 8, Nurkic in 9, Ben Mather in round 10, Sadiq Bey, of course, in round 11, Paul Washington Jr. in 12, Chrissy Dunn in 13, and Malik Monk in 14. You might look at those last couple picks and go, there's not a huge amount of upside there. I think Matherin's an upside pick. Washington is 30 spots upside from that spot. To me, Dunn, again, you know why. I just talked about why I'm doing that. And Malik Monk probably has 30 spots of upside there as well. It's not just about unproven rookies when I talk upside. And I think that is an important thing to note as well. That's not what we talk about. It's not just having to be this guy who has to, everything has to play out perfectly for it to work. If you're getting 3 rounds of value, that does still turn into a flyer type situation. All right. If I look at projected standings at the end of this, again, we're going to grain of salt it. My team comes in second behind Dominatin, who would allegedly beat me 4-5 in a head-to-head matchup. Although one of those, or some of those categories are very, very close. which is, again, why we be careful with that. Dominating, then me, Fantrax, HarBD, Anush, Brian, Lamar, Professor Lamar, Pomelo Ball, good name. Zebrafish, let's get to it. GSW All-Stars and Asar Dude. Now, you'll know that the guys that when I criticize their picks, because they have a different philosophy to me, or they value players differently, they're always going to come down the bottom of the projected standings. Because you know what the projected standings are based on? My own projections. So that makes total sense. So don't be disheartened or whatever. And it's like, I'm not going to start jerking myself off because I'm coming in second on my own projections. Again, there are so many limitations to all of this stuff. And that will do it for me today. Don't forget, follow this podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. And you know what to do. We're here on YouTube. You thumb it up and you leave your comments down below. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.